I don't even have words. Testing these players on the new Rinko IM. If you want to see the review of these, check out Inner Fetish. I released it this morning. There'll be a link in the, actually the first link in the description and the comments. So my new collab, $99 with special tips, the render tips, which will be available. It's also playing off a $300 IM cable because that's the new me. Fuck. Anyway, so yeah, check out the Rinko. Bass Murder, just double planar. It's an amazing. Those. My full thoughts on the Inner Fetish channel linked in the description. The Hiby R3 Pro versus. I haven't done a versus in a while, and I'm gonna do a versus today because one of these is that, and one of these is that, and I don't know what's the better scenario because they're both good. Like, I think we've come to the point now, I don't think, unless, if something just sounded poor, I would literally turn on the camera and be like, beep, 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 beep. Hey, everybody, this sounds like shit. And thanks, don't buy it. Click. But we're into the finagling, like, the details. It's all about, this is not just the Hiby R3 Pro. This is the Hiby R3 Pro Saber. So now I got to start, like, focusing in on if, not just Hiby R3, not just Hiby R3 Pro, but the Hiby R3. So now is the Saber DAC bringing something new to the horizons of sound? Maybe. And the Shanling M1s, which, by the way, I love this box that you could, like, you actually can grab it here and pull it out. And it's just orange. It's so orange, and it's got nice colors. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but it's just, orange. Anyway, we're gonna talk because I really started this video because I want to talk about the Shanling, but I don't want to give each one of these their own 2 days span. This is not 4 days. It's a 2-day thing. Because these are very, very similar cost. I think you're currently $209 on sale and you're $229 normally. I actually don't know if Hi-Fi Go or Linsol sent me either one of these. And sometimes Hiby will send me things directly. So I'm just going to link to everybody in the description. So there you go. Everyone gets clicks. Everyone's happy. We'll give tours of the units. Timestamps, yes. I love when I like call it out and actually do the timestamps. So if you're looking for portable music, but you don't quite want to go to the M0, I did the M0, which is like 1/5 the size of this. This is a monster compared to the M0. You would get something, you know, this is good. These are handheld sizes. This looks weird as fuck, but we'll get to it and why that's amazing. This is pretty standard, except for the fact that it's a 2.5 millimeter balanced. This one's got a 4.4. The chassis can obviously handle a 4.4. Why do we have a 2.5 in 2023? I don't know. That's definitely negative points. I like running my shit balanced, but I hate 2.5 millimeters. So I'm using an adapter for that whole nonsense. And I've got the Meze Elites out because if you're going to play with $200 DAPS, you want to play with $4,000 headphones, $100 IMs, and costs. KPH40s for 40 bucks. Nice screen, big. It's different on the Shanling, which is a very, we're gonna get to the weirdness that this is compared to this. Let's do the normal one first, then we'll focus. Yeah, I want you to stick around for that one because this one I figured out, and when I figured it out, I was like, oh my god, it's amazing. Standard layout, volume rocker on the left. I don't know what that symbol's supposed to mean. Oh, the Saber, is that the Saber DAC symbol? I've never seen a Saber symbol. It's like an S, but it looks like a 5 in a square. Is that what that is? Bottom, USB-C charging port, micro SD card. Top, 3.5. Also line out. I'm not sure if this is a coaxial out. I'll have to check the options. And then your 2.5 balanced. And then the right side has your power, a power indicator, which is a little red LED that's currently on. That'll also show you when it's charging. And then you have your standard 3-position rocker. I think next track. Hold on, let's put on pretty piece of flash from 1 Inch Punch. And then we'll go back. Can I not see? Yeah, it's back. Okay, so next track, last track, play pause. Very, very basic, very simple, very thin. It actually comes with Screen protectors. I believe this one is glass. This, I don't know why it would be. This one wasn't wrapped up, and it's very flexible. And this one's like thicker. Maybe it's not glass, but it's just a thicker piece of plastic with a thing around it. And it comes with a cradle in case you're very, very concerned about your player getting banged around. If you bang your player, you need this. And it's just a clamshell, so you get it over here, and you do that. And you know what? Of all the things, I hate this the least. Because it actually makes it a little bit harder to press the buttons, which can be good. So you're going to press your finger into that. And it doesn't affect like the feel of it in your hand. Like it's not, this is sharp, but only when you're going this way. It doesn't feel bad like this. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. And it just sticks out like a millimeter at most to prevent you from putting it down on the screen. So I approve of this, and you can peel it off real easy. It pops right off. Boom. Accessories. I think it came with a nice, a real nice, like USB-C charging cable. I left it in the box. I got a million of those hanging out. Okay, that's the build of this one. It screen's nice. Power off. Do things. The Shanling you pick up. Ignore the back for a second because I modified it. And it's like, okay, it's a perfect square. It's a perfect square. And it's a thick square. It's a little thicker. It's got these nice little finger rests here and here. We've got the bottom screen here. Okay. And then you've got 3 face-firing buttons. Next track, last track, play, pause. I just initiated, I think, how do I do that? Yeah, if you squiggle if you don't touch the volume knob, you could do the volume like this, but if you wait for the volume then to go away, we go up, and you're just like playing music. And I think if you do this on the top, this is new to me, hold on. Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. Yeah, if you touch above the screen, it brings up the digital volume control you could then adjust. I didn't know it did that because there's no manual to tell you. I'm still discovering things. So you got a standard push-in scrolly wheel. There's your normal volume control, which you can also grab and then do that. Wheel there. Push buttons here for next track, play, pause, last track. Screens on the bottom. You got your SD card here, your USB/DAC here. You get your 3.5 and 4.4 because it's the fucking future. Stop putting 2.5s on anything. And the bottom is nothing. And the back is just glass. And then I added a ring of, this is speaker surround foam. This is when you build a speaker, you're supposed to put it around in a circle and seal the speaker in. I put this on everything. I used to put it on everything. Here, I've got it on the remote control. This is my Emotive remote. You see this? That's been there for 5 years. And it just glues on, and it's just soft, and it's worn, it's patinaed to a beautiful, like, squeezable finish. I love it. I love it for things that, like, have to be in my hand that I used to do to my phone and things. And I put it on the back of this for a reason. Let's get to the reason now, because nobody watches this video past this point anyway. So I was using this fucking device like this, with the screen orientation like this, and it's like the headphones came out. Let's plug in my big bad boys here, because there's no point in bringing them out and not actually have them in. Some Gorillaz is playing. Now I'm going to lower it, and you can see how awkward this is. It's just, there's a lot of awkwardness in this. It's like Aliens came out to make this, and it's like okay, like, what the fuck? And then 2 things happened. Number 1, I dropped it in my pocket, like this. And when you put it in your pocket, you can still touch the buttons. You can't touch the volume, but you can still feel through your pants, through fabric. Here, let me just help you with this shirt. You can just feel the play, pause, and next track buttons. So that's automatically a win in my book. I didn't even consider that as an option. I've always been a side button person. And it's like, well, then you got to reach into your pants. You got to squeeze your pants because it's probably going to be in your pants. So you get to squeeze the buttons. So that's fucking cool. And then you pull down the menu, which it looks like it's Android. It's not. None of these are Android. It's very fast. This one's much snappier than the Hiby. And then you have your Wi-Fi, because it'll actually do Wi-Fi updates, and it'll act as a DLNA device, so you can actually send things to and from this. Bluetooth, lock, screen, high gain, low gain, power out, pre-outer line out. You get automatically sent to system settings if you do that, and automatically sent to music settings if you do that. And then you have the screen rotate button, which then flips the screen this way. And then I was taking a shit. All honesty, I was using these. I was playing the Rinkos. Rinko IMs out today, the 7th of April, 2023. Get your $100 set. They're amazing. Like, they literally scare me and everyone who's gotten an advanced set. They're just like, what the fuck did you do? So I was taking a shit. And I was using the player. And I was like playing with the options. And I flipped the screen. And then I put it down. And I went, oh my God. This is perfect. Because now it's feeding the headphone out the front. I can easily thumb the volume on the side. I've got physical top-loaded play-pause buttons. And I can manipulate the screen in the correct orientation. This is a desktop unit. It's a desktop unit. Like, the Hiby can do things like that. Like, you could just set it on your thing, but then your headphone's still coming out the top. And actually, you can rotate this, I believe. Hold on. It's up. There's a way to flip the screen in this as well. But it's like, even if you did that, it doesn't let you do, like, this lets me do volume and change track and navigation. And it just feels, this is going to, all right. I got a trip coming up. This is the 7th. I'll be in Axpona in Chicago. I'm taking my Steam Deck to watch anime on it and play video games. And I'm bringing this because it's cheap. It's small. The battery is decent, although it doesn't last as long as you'd hope. But I'm going to put this fucker with the foam, which is the reason I had the foam, right on the tray table. Like that. And it's going to sit there and play music for me. And I'm going to be like, play. I'm like, okay, cool. More volume. Should I do this as I bring up the... Hold on, I want to show you something else. All right, we got to pause this for a second because I'm obsessed with this one for a second. The Hiby, thinner, about the same weight as far as like weight goes. Sound quality, because that's the if they're the same price and this has way better functionality somehow. This is for more people who are just, I want a normal DAPS Zeos. I want to just be able to flip through and it does the alphabetical thing. And you've got files, albums, artists, genres. You click this and you constantly go back. You get the full Last Samurai header. Plug this into this. For those of you who skipped ahead, did you know my Rinkos are out today? Look for the $100 Rinkos. They're very boring looking and they don't come with a $300 cable, but they'll win your hearts. And this is my cheapest collab to date until the blonde collab comes out at some point. But this one is my baby. This is the one I was able to yell the most at them to get them to do things. Like insane things. Things that don't measure well. So let's take these off now again. Because now we're going back to this. Which, by the way, just fucking cost KPH40s in the beige. Just stock pads and everything. I don't even care. Oh, by the way, if you get KPH40s, do this. Don't grab them by the plastic. Grab them above the plastic. In fact, grab them above that split in the metal so you don't bend it. Right above that split in the metal there and there. And just do this. Because they're all too tight for default. You want these to just rest gently on your ear holes. And now they will. And now they're air. I have to do this to everybody who I open a set and they're like, these are kind of tight or they're pressing. And it's like, unless you're hardcore cycling, you don't need KPH40s to have the full clamp. And if you want to add the full clamp, you do the opposite and bring it back. But you just relax that clamp and it's like, ah. I'm also using a different cable with an adapter wire, or an adapter connector. I think the Hiby sounds better. Shanling's known for having like tremendous sound. But if I play the same songs back and forth in this, and trust me, it was a fucking nightmare because I didn't have the same songs on both cards and I'm looking like, what's the same song? Do I have the same song? I don't know. Maybe I do. Oh God, is this going to blow up or kill me? All right, play. It does this thing where it's like it won't go. Like it's awake and it's plugged in. Go. And now it goes. It's strange like lockout. I got to check for another firmware update. Now, normally I would be like, oh, that's a shame that, you know, that this thing doesn't have quite the same. They're very similar. But I think the Hiby just does something with the processing. Maybe it's the whole Saber DAC thing. But we're going to pull out one more special trick that the Shanling can do, which I found in the options directly before this video. I think it said USB. Yep, audio connected. So now I've hooked up a dongle, which is the Muse M3, which is like $150 on its own dongle, and it's set to USB to have full line out, so the volume won't work here. And the volume only works on this. And if I play now, oh, now it sounds like the Muse M3, which is the best sounding thing in the history of the world. So, what are you? What are you, M1s? Because you have USB host capability. You know what? I gotta check. I gotta yell. I don't want to yell. I want to give the Hiby the benefit of the doubt. Does this work? USB device connected. It's working. Okay, they both do it. I didn't know there was an option for non-Android players to just become USB hosts. Okay, so at least they're balanced on that. So if you want more, actually, this might be more power. This is dumb. This automatically is dumb because it's like, why would you have such a small device? The whole goal of it is to carry less bulk and then add more bulk. Which, by the way, this probably still sounds better than both of these DAPs. It was one of the things that Critical, I think I can agree with Critical on that, is that he's like, DAPs are the not the future. It's all about the dongle. I'm still using DAPs though, because my phone battery is garbage, and it's impossible to have this in my phone and have anything conveniently happening, like put it down. It's just, it doesn't, all right? It just fucking doesn't. But it's nice to know that I could take these and plug any, if you want more power, you get a Moon River too, and you pop it in the side of this. It'll even just host a USB-C headphone, like one of the DD Hi-Fi adapters. So, this is fine. I didn't get my rocks off to the goddamn Hiby. It's a Saber. I like Sabers. Obviously, I think it sounds spectacular. It's got enough power to run. Like, I was on high gain only because this is using 3.5 millimeter to run that. On balance, on the balance output on something like, well, fucking 2.5, son of a bitch. There you go. It says it's playing. Is it playing? Yes. Yeah, we're at high gain at 60. And this is absolutely rocking in the next track. It's very... I could sell you $4,000 headphones with the sound coming out of this fucking Hiby. All right? We've gotten to that point now where it's like, it doesn't really matter if it's a $2,000 DAP or a $200 DAP. They're gonna be close. The only thing this is missing is like real power. Like, I didn't bother trying to take the Abyss Dianas out for this. Like, or the Timsock TS1024s or anything hard to drive. These are actually relatively easy to drive, but they're $4,000. And if they sound like $4,000 headphones on a measly $200 DAP, that's a win in my book. Now I plugged the same headphone into my desk solution, which is the coolest fucking thing of all time. Put on the screen. There we go. Minus Nails is now playing. This is also high gain at 60. So they're damn close in power too. I think this is a slightly smoother sounding unit. Just a little bit, just enough that I could notice it. And I feel like that's pretty much a Saber thing. When Saber DACs once Sabers became a thing, when the AKM factory burned to the ground in Japan, I feel like a lot of companies are now working on Sabers because there's just something to them. And I should like Saber more than AKM because America versus Japan, but bro, mousepad in the description. It's so close. Oh, you also get, in the Hiby thing, you get that. Do you remember the MSEB thing? The navigation, by the way, on the Hiby is a lot of side drags to go between things. So you're on your play page, and you're on your list page where you get to pick things like albums. You drag again, you get the side pull out. MSEB, which does all the crazy, I have this all disabled, by the way, but cool, bright, light, deep, fast, thumpy, note thickness, bass texture, all these options you get to play with. You get a nice, please turn on master switch first. How big is this equalizer? What? Oh, there you go. There's your like 10-band equalizer, 12-band equalizer. You get an EQ, you get all the things. You get an ebook reader. For some fucking reason, you get a pedometer, so you can see how many pedos you are. It's currently registering 0. You got wireless settings for the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth things, play settings, system settings, and about. So that's how you do it. And then the weird is the up pull. So you want to get to this, like, you're in doing whatever you're doing, you do the up pull, and you get your Bluetooth on or off, Wi-Fi on off, AirPlay on off. I don't remember what that is. High-low gain. This is replay gain there, on or off. Your output settings for power for pre-out or line out. You get your sleep timer, which you can set. You get your brightness control right here. Look at that, how convenient. And just another volume control right there. And then in case this button's here, or the buttons on the side, you can pull up, and there's buttons here to next track, play, pause. And the title's there. I don't know why, but I like it. It's like, fuck it, we're just going to give you everything there as well. There's no pull down. It's just back and forth, and menus and options are all here. This guy, now that we're in I think this is the correct orientation. I think this is fucking weird. Having the screen on the bottom, buttons on top is weird. Having the headphones go at the bottom, buttons on the bottom, even if your hand is sort of protecting the volume, I feel like that's still, once you're doing this, it's still a convenient location for it. Especially if you're gonna do the table drop. This is fucking cool. This is fucking cool. The navigation in this is pull down. It's just like Android. You get your brightness here. It's a little laggy, like it's not as smooth on some things. Your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, I've already run over this. But you pull that up, and then you go and you pull back. And now this is more like your homepage. It's just icons. All songs, my fave, high res, album, artist, composer. Playlist, genre, frequent, recent, recently added, folder, playback settings, and system settings. You notice anything? They're really trying to allow you to find what the fuck you need without typing. That's another thing. I think this, hold on. You could hit the search thing on this, and you get the search bar, and it brings up the fucking type of thing that's on an old phone, where if you texted back in like 2003, you knew you had to hit like A, B, J, K, K, L. Oh fuck! Why would you do that? Why would you give me the numerical numpad fucking typing and not just a small keyboard? Just a small keyboard. Anything but this. Anything but this. No. I don't even think this offers. Which I have to set this to not shut off the screen after like 10 seconds. Hold on. Oh, it might take a second to wake up. So they're trying to get you to navigate. Like if I do HR, only high-res songs pop up, and you can drag along the side much faster than that to get through the things that are all in the alphabetical order. So this one's not even in English. It's high-res. It's FLAC. It's from Bubble. I never watched Bubble, but that sounds really good. I might be being too harsh by saying this doesn't sound as good as that. I feel like it's just a matter of the tracks are different. Like the random shuffle. So you get your shuffle, you could heart this and add it to a liked track. Then you have that whole section just liked tracks. You get the 3 buttons here. You could do A-B repeat. You could do multiple speeds in case you're doing podcasts. I don't know if that was an option on this. You could add it to a playlist and you could download cover and lyrics using the Wi-Fi. Let's do 1.5x. I want to listen to my music from now on. Just at 1.5x. You could even tap the volume, like you want. I give you so many options to do things. Only oh, okay. The multiple speed thing only works on files below 48 kilohertz, and I'm listening to high res, so it's not going to work for that. So now I've got a pulled up screen and a pulled it down. I want to go away. We're back. And then it's got this little music selection thing, which is very annoying because it's just the things in your current result. So only the high-res songs. And there's only like one word, like tower or too young or under African skies. Look at all the information you can get too. If I was keeping one of these, and I usually am keeping at least one of the things that I'm talking about, it's going to be this one. It's going to be this one. It's just, it's so good for doing that. For doing, put it down on the table with the wire hanging off. It's heavy enough that it doesn't flop off. Now that I've added the speaker surround foam, you can add this little rubber feet to the back of it so it doesn't slide. It's just such a cool fucking thing. And the next track, last track, by the way, reverse when you reverse the screen. So that's next track. And the volume is down and up, which is backwards when you reverse the screen, which is correct for this orientation. It's like it was designed for this, but didn't have a way to sell it to you. So yeah, we've got two players here. Honestly, pick your poison. I was... 2.5 millimeters the killer for me. If this was a 4.4, I'd have a lot more love towards this thing. Despite it wanting me to type in things like that. That's fucking stupid. This gives you more information on top, gives you percentages of things, gives you the time. I don't even know if this gives me the time. It does give me the time. This thinks it's 3 in the morning. This knows it's 10 o'clock at night. So I think I need to adjust that. But yeah, they're different strokes for different folks. This is more normal. This is more put in your pocket. If you're used to a player like this, absolutely, probably the best one. In fact, you know what? I didn't show you where the old one is. Because I have a Hiby R3, the original, not the Pro, and not the Pro Saber. That's this one. Here it is, over here. Hello, Hiby R3. How are you doing, my friend? Have you been running nonstop since like 2021? Because this never turns off, never stops playing, and goes into the task MMH8 for the burn-in rig. Always. It's powered externally, and it just never, ever stops playing. The only thing that happens is when I'm doing reviews or I just say I'm going to bed, the amplifier will click on and off manually with the CASA switch. But that... This one is a little bit... No, are they the same size? Maybe the new one's a little bit smaller. But yeah, so you want to know what the most used DAP is in my home? It's the Hiby R3. Of course, it never stops playing. And it never errors. And the only time I have to go there and do anything with it is when I have like a 50-hour blackout. Because even if I lose power, the internal battery lasts for fucking ever. It's just a constant music server over there just constantly. I have a love affair for the Hiby R3 Pro Saber, and yet this one is my preferred one. This weird fucking square, because it doesn't work except for putting it in your pocket and touching the buttons, which is kind of cool. It has to work here. It has to work physically on the edge of a surface. When your DAP goes down on the table, this is the better DAP. When your DAP is constantly either in your hand or in your pocket, this is the better DAP. I'm pretty sure you could rotate it also to get the screen backwards, which will fuck you up royally for like volume controls, but your headphones will come out the bottom, but they'll be 2.5 millimeter. Anyway, I'm done. I've been going this too long. Please check out my channel with the Rinko, the full Rinko review. I was going to do a full Rinko review on this channel. I might still do it, but we'll see how they're going, because they're going to sell out like immediately. And they don't come with this crazy demo cable by Effect Audio. Possible collab with an expensive cable. I know you didn't want this to get here, but this channel's 10 years old and my hearing is much better now, actually. No, it's actually like there's science to it and shit. Like I could actually measure the cables. Whatever, fuck it, Rinko. Get your Rinko, get your goddamn tips, get your render tips, and I'll see you on the other side. Patreon subscribe star, support this channel. Wallpapers are in the Horde. For $5 a month, you get to see reviews early. Participate in yard sales. You get to hear and see sound demos. All the sound demos have been moved off of YouTube This place here with all the rules and regulations and the bad people, and they've moved privately to a little small community where only people who love and understand can listen to the music I listen to. They're the only worthy ones. And for $10 a month, you get into the behind-the-scenes private Telegram chat where you could ask me any questions directly and get into a lifetime swap meet channel. So if I sell you something that you don't like, you could put it in there and be like, Zeo sucks, buy this from me, and someone will fucking buy it from you. For life. That channel is for life unless everyone dies and then everyone's dead. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm good. You're good. We're good. Making this video as short as possible. I'm going to go back to listening to this. Probably on the Hiby. Although I hate that it's a 2.5 millimeter. Like hate. Like firmly hate. Like absolutely despise. Like detest. But yeah, see you tomorrow or the next day or the next day or the next day.